So there's like, a bit of a beef here. But Jason Whitlock stepped into the breach to explain this beef to his audience, but explain it in a very particular way. He's going to explain it as he says here. The discord, animus, and upheaval within the conservative media bubble, highlighted by the feud between Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire, can best be understood through a Game of Thrones lens.
Yes.
Now, fellas.
Now we're talking my language, finally.
We are all Gambo experts here. We've read the books, seen the TV show, we know the lore here. So I would just figure we could do an audit of this Jason Whitlock in which he goes through all of the principal figures in the conservative and liberal current media landscape and assigns them a Gambo character. Starting with Steven Crowder is Littlefinger. He believes chaos is a ladder. He knows winter/war is coming. He correctly identified big tech as the White Walkers. In his mind, he gave Jeremy Boring, quote, Ned Stark, great advice.
That's not what Ned Stark and Littlefinger's their initial interplay. That's not what it was over. He's already fucking up the analogy. But all right. I mean, I've read this thread probably 3 times, so we'll keep going.
The thing with Littlefinger is he clearly wants to paint Crowder as the sort of the evil Machiavellian genius who you kind of have to respect. But he says he knows that winter/war is coming. I mean, it's not that he knows war is coming. Littlefinger is actively starting the war himself to benefit from it. It's not like he's just I can feel it in my bones. The war is coming. He is a active agent in scripting the the breakup of the Seven Kingdoms.
So does that mean that he doesn't he's a bad guy?
I think he thinks Crowder is very much a good guy.
Where Whitlock himself comes down on this. Although he identifies the thing about identifying the White Walkers. It's first of all, big tech, hilarious. Second of all, Littlefinger didn't give a shit about the White Walkers. This has nothing to do with him.
No,
he never had any. He never had any time for the White Walkers. He was just doing his schemes and shenanigans.
So continuing on, he says, Jeremy D. Boring, as mentioned above, is Lord Eddard Stark, hand to the king of the Daily Wire. Okay, Ben Shapiro is Robert Baratheon. Jeremy Boring is Eddard Stark. Jeremy has far more ego than Ned Stark, but in Littlefinger's mind, Jeremy is every bit as naive, thinking he can work with big tech and maintain conservative values.
No one's trying to work with the White Walkers. That's not a faction. This entire thing is poppycock.
But okay, if big tech is the White Walkers, why are you doing this on Twitter? It's if every character in Game of Thrones, they were like, wait, I have to tell this to everyone. Let me go beyond the wall. It's if 3/4 of the factions in Game of Thrones, their entire the thing they were mad about is that you didn't let them be beyond the wall. That's it. That's the only way this analogy works. I've been shadow banned beyond the wall.
So the analogy is we're only two tweets into this thread. The analogy is already more tortured than a victim of the the Boltons, the flayed men. That's how I feel reading this. But this one is very much on point. I thought a second ago Ben Shapiro was Robert Baratheon. No, according to Jason Whitlock, Ben Shapiro is Bran Stark, eventual king of the Six Kingdoms. Ben has unexplained superpowers that allegedly allow him to see into the future, except when it comes to the milk of the poppy vaccine. Winterfell is Israel, a standalone kingdom run by his sister Sansa, in parentheses, Brett Cooper.
For those wondering,
who the fuck is Brett Cooper?
Brett Cooper is not the Prime Minister of Israel. He's just some other conservative media guy. But okay, so Ben was... I can sort of buy this one because Ben was given a disability at a pretty young age. He was circumcised that gave him superpowers that would tell him that O'Bungler would be a bad president.
I think this one is apt because like Bran, Ben is an annoying, ugly little bitch who everyone hates.
Yes.
There's everyone who, either reading the books or watching the TV show. Everyone was just on the edge of their seats going, can we get back to Bran's plot line, please? But the other, this honestly, I think should be chiseled into a wall somewhere. But just the phrase "Winterfell is Israel" is what I mean. Like, this is what I mean. Greatness is back. Winterfell is Israel, a standalone kingdom. And again, for that to be true, for Israel to be a standalone kingdom, they wouldn't be getting all the money that they do from our I don't know, Casterly Rock or something, like some bullshit like that.
There wasn't a storyline in the books or the series about like tourists from Winterfell behaving badly in Essos. Every character wasn't like, oh great, here come the Winterfell people, like on holiday again.
Yeah, some more northern tourists. They burned down another one of our heart trees. Oh well.
Also, Winterfell is not a kingdom at all. It's a fucking castle, dumbass. The North is the kingdom.
Well, I mean, as the thread goes on, it's not even clear whether Jason Whitlock even likes Game of Thrones, because I mean he has some editorial input here. But going on, Donald Trump is King Robert Baratheon. Once a great warrior, King Trump has gotten sloppy and more vulnerable than ever to his many enemies and rivals. That one, I think that one's legit. I can see the Trump Robert Baratheon comparison.
That's probably the best analogy in the entire thread. Yeah,
I'll buy that one.
Okay, now we get into people who are like, I don't know, like I guess Candace Owens is part of the Daily Wire, is she? I don't know.
Yeah,
it says here, Candace Owens is Cersei Lannister, stunning, conniving, and power-hungry. Sensing the fall of her political husband, Trump, in parentheses, she's devised a plan to empower herself. I like that he says that she's stunning, just like Cersei. She's a stunning, sexy lady. Matt Walsh is Jaime Lannister, a noble bad guy. Walsh and Owens playfully feud over social media to conceal their mutual admiration. So I guess they're fucking.
They're fucking and
nicknamed
siblings.
the drag. Nicknamed the Drag Queen Slayer, Walsh's true affinity is for protecting the little people, in parentheses, Tyrion.
Okay, who's Tyrion?
And then the next.
Oh, you're going to vomit when you get to the Tyrion part.
So he's protecting the little people. Elon Musk is Tywin Lannister. Musk believes gold wins wars, not soldiers. The great patriarch of social media. A Musk always pays his debts.
That is
true. Definitely not true.
That's completely not true.
They haven't paid their fucking rent in their fucking offices in like 3 months.
Seth Dillon is Tyrion Lannister, the imp.
Who the fuck are these
leader
people?
of the Babylon.
Seth Dillon? I do not even know who this guy is.
Yeah, he's the Babylon Bee guy. This is the part that, well, I consider dialing 911 to commit suicide by cop.
Oh, okay. So he's
Dillon,
he's Tyrion because he's so hilarious.
Yeah, he drinks and he knows things. He's very quick-witted. Oh, yeah. This part is
Seth Dillon is Tyrion Lannister, the imp. The leader of the Babylon Bee camouflages his intelligence with his quick wit. Even Dillon's haters love him.
Definitely true.
Quick wit, camouflage, intelligence. That doesn't even make sense.
A quick wit does not camouflage intelligence; it broadcasts it.
Yeah. Yes.
Fucking
literally.
moron.
So I think this is like the turning point in the thread. Like I feel like
these people are not even tangentially related,
right? Well, I think like this is the turning point in the thread because I think this is like he was very into it, and this was sort of like the apogee of how into it he was. And then he realizes how he sounds and that it's already been up for like 30 minutes and he get like people just repost it. So he's like, oh, I have to like make like self-aware jokes about like, I have to sort of like laugh along with the crowd about how much this sucks now.
Well, he did the important thing, which was explicate the beef between Steven Crowder and Jeremy Boring. And before he really goes off the rails, he just had to get in there that he thinks Candace Owens is stunning.
Right. Okay. So here's how I'll explain the contract dispute. Matt Walsh and Candace Owens are brother and sister who are fucking. That's the core of the contract dispute here.
Okay. Next up on our casting call here, Jordan Peterson. That's right, Jordan Peterson. He is Varys, a wide sage with an array of sources and information who places protection of the realm above all else. So again, Jordan Peterson does not have a wide array of sources. He has his own fucking brain and his book, Maps
he's
of
just
Meaning. I've never
riffing
seen
at
him
all times.
reference anyone else's work.
He's read 0 books. It's amazing.
I mean, I guess they're both like castrated, one metaphorically, one literally.
I would like to see him bald, though. I'd like to see if you could pull that off.
Next up, we have Alex Jones is Stannis Baratheon, the rightful heir to the conservative throne. Facing character assassination inside a courtroom, Jones told the judge, "Go on, do your duty."
I mean, that is Stannis and Alex Jones, both stoic, really into the letter of the law. You know, Alex Jones not really like a performer type.
I mean, he was under siege in that courtroom until lowly Davos Seaworth, the nootropic knight, sailed into the castle with a bunch of brain force ultra mega gorilla mind, and they fortified them for the rest of the siege of Storm's End. Next up, we have this one is really good. Joe Biden is King Joffrey. At 3 a.m., Joffrey's mother destroyed King Robert Baratheon's ballot naming Ned Stark Protector of the Realm, making Biden president. Weird and sadistic. The legitimacy of Biden's rule is questioned.
So wait a minute, Candace Owens is Joe Biden's mom?
And stole the election for him, and Joe Biden, I guess, is committing crossbow rape.
Yeah,
I didn't know he had it in him.
Yeah, Candace Owens is his mom, and Joe Biden is his dad. Or no, I'm sorry, that because it's not actually his kid. It's Jamie Lannister's kid, so that's Matt Walsh. So Joe Biden is the child of Matt Walsh and Candace Owens.
That is Sarah. That is Sarah Connor Chronicles timeline fuckery. That is just so confusing. That is, I cannot keep this straight in my mind.
And I also love the I love the impression of Joe Biden as weird and sadistic. And it's like, look. So it's really the policies of Joe Biden and the Democrats, I think, could fairly be described as weird and sadistic. But Joe Brandon himself, I mean, he does not give off Joffrey vibes to me. You know, like he Master Pycelle. I mean, that's the comparison that's just sitting right there.
Oh yeah.
He's like a
perfect.
Just sort of like a grumbling courtier who's just been in the system for so fucking long, and then he's just like the last one there to take a seat when the music stops. That's Master Pycelle all the way. He's not a good guy. But weird and sadistic does not strike me as the Joe Brandon, style.
Yeah, Joffrey is like, I mean, a willful character, and Joe Brandon is probably the most led around man in the world.
Yeah. Next up is a guy I've never fucking heard of. He just lists him as at Alex Stein 99. If you guys are familiar with this guy, Alex Stein?
No, yeah, this is too deep in conservative lore for me.
It says, I'm looking at his bio here. It says cat maximalist and a host of conspiracy castles on Blaze TV. Well, whoever the fuck you are, Alex Stein, you are now Bronn, a mercenary for hire who kills while making you laugh. Always down for trial by combat.
Okay.
Wait, I'm just looking at a photo of this guy here. Oh God, he's laughing in his photo, but he looks like he has a real pinched dough face. He does not look like, yeah. He's he's always down for trial by combat.
He's a lovable murderer.
Next up, and this is where Jason, I like just the little interjections of horniness in this. He says here, Kamala Harris is Roz. Roz slept her way from Winterfell to King's Landing all the way to King Joffrey's bedroom, where she was murdered by a bow and arrow.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing that like Joe Biden is gonna kill Kamala Harris.
He's gonna make her beat Pete Buttigieg to death with a bat in front of him. Then next up we have Brittany Griner. Is Brienne of Tarth, the most heroic, virtuous, selfless, and courageous non-binary person in all of Westeros. Griner ascended to Lord Commander of the Kingsguard after smuggling hash into the Iron Islands at the behest of Joe Biden. This is just truly... he's
this
gone
is the
from
thing where you get too mad,
to fully losing his mind. Yeah,
you get too mad. You remember the things that piss you off, like frickin' Brittany Griner getting out of jail and leaving our precious troop in there. And then you got to get all fucking, you got to throw the whole thing out just to start bitching about it. Although it is nice to know that Russia is the Iron Islands. It's like, I didn't know you guys were so big on the Ukraine war, because if Russia's the Iron Islands, you're basically arguing that it should be wiped off the map, because that was what they always should have done to the fucking Iron Islands. Just awful.
Well,
just sink that shit.
I will take issue with one aspect of the lore here. I would say the Iron Islands, if there was such a thing as like, contraband or hash oil, if you were trying to sneak, let's say, milk of the poppy into one of the kingdoms, the Iron Islands, I think, would probably have the most liberal drug importation policy. I don't think that's something
They're
that
pirates.
Drown you for.
Pirates.
Yeah. Next up, Tomi Lahren is Lady Marjorie Tyrell. Obsessed with fame, fortune, and power, Lady
Who the fuck
Marjorie
is
married
Tony
her brother's
Lahren been,
boyfriend.
by the way? Is she
Well, I mean, she
anywhere?
got-
I feel like she just fell off of the fucking map.
Well, I mean,
She
he
did
says
fall
here,
off.
Lady Marjorie married her brother's boyfriend, Renly, King Joffrey, and King Joffrey's brother, Tommen. She eventually pretended to join the High Sparrow religious cult. I don't know what the Tomi Lahren equivalent of this. I don't know what he's just describing the
Mormon?
character of Marjorie Tyrell. There's no
Yeah, no, that's the opposite of what happens, kind of.
yeah.
Cersei, she doesn't join the cult, but she tries to use them for it's all over the place.
Next up, we have Clay Travis. Clay Travis is Theon Greyjoy. Abandoned by his political father, Al Gore, Clay became a ward of the Starks, eventually betraying them. Captured, tortured, eunuched, and renamed Reek by Ramsay Snow, Clay struggles to find an authentic identity. Is eunuch the word? Can you eunuch someone? Or, I don't know. It's pretty
You got
creative.
eunuched, which is good to know.
You got
but,
eunuch.
Clay Travis has literally no dick or balls.
Sorry, remind me, who is Clay Travis again?
He's another
Conservative sports
sports guy.
guy.
He's another guy who
He's
was
a-
like a sports
he's a
dude who
baseball
then
pitcher or
became
something?
super political and a right wing. Like wrote about sports,
How is
I
he?
think.
How is he eunuched?
I have no idea.
Next
This
up-
is getting so deep into the fucking the internecine struggles. This is all like shit that he's like seen in fucking slacks and stuff, and now he's tweeting it out to a public audience of absolutely baffled onlookers.
Next up, we have Greta Thunberg is Arya Stark, an impossible to believe media creation. The tiny fantasy heroine slays the Night King, thwarts global colding, and stands as a symbol of girl power. See, like, this is where it got confusing to me, because Arya is like one of the great heroes of A Song of Ice and Fire. Like, she's a fan favorite, certainly one of the most heroic characters in the books. But he's saying that like she's bad because her character represents girl power and the unbelievable contention that a woman could best a man in bladed combat.
Also, though, she fought the White Walkers, who, in his telling, is big tech. So she should be good then on his side. Yep. Again, just thinking of people that you're mad at, and then just throwing them in there, and thinking of the characters that you're getting mad at, and the entire world building collapses.
Yeah, I mean, any of these analogies, like, they have the structural integrity of a regular lawn chair under Jason Whitlock.
Only a few more to go here.
Oh, thank God.
Next, we have Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is Jon Snow. He has king's blood, but chooses to be champion of the Night's Watch, rising
Back
to Lord
to dick
Commander.
writing.
Yes, right back to just, oh God.
Just absurd dick writing.
Rising to Lord Commander of the men maintaining the wall at the border. He's like, yeah, just want to let you know, Tucker Carlson, you're a personal hero of mine. Then finally, Jesus Christ.
Thank fucking
Governor
God.
Ron DeSantis and Carrie Lake are Viserys and Daenerys Targaryen. Conservatives are anxiously waiting for the Targaryens to take back the Iron White House throne.
Ron DeSantis also married to his sister. Whatever.
And
I
like,
don't
okay,
care.
and who's Carrie Lake going to get pimped out to get like an army of horse lords to retake the White Iron Throne?
Yeah, he is not named Khal Drogo. I've noticed that.
Yeah, him. He's thinking,
Yeah.
that's me, baby. My sun and stars. He's referred to as my sun and stars because he has the same gravitational pull. Folks, that's what I'm saying.
Boom.
And then finally he says, guess that makes me George R.R. Martin. I'm still working out on how this will all end. Stay
George
tuned.
R. Word Martin.
Please, Jason, please. Please, more of this.
Yeah.
more
George R.
of
R.
this.
Martin.
More of this.
That's really it. I mean, I guess like if I saw you both in side profile,
Yeah. only the Greek fisherman's cap would be able to tell the difference.
But Matt, look, as good as this thread was, there were some great replies to it from Whitlock's fans, none of whom have seen Game of Thrones or has any fucking clue what he's talking about, even less than I do. And they're like, Jason, gotta say, I love all of this. Don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to look into it right now.
They're going to be like Felix, where it's like, I'm not even going to watch the show. I'm just going to read the lore, just so that I can understand what he was saying.
I hope they have as good of a time as I did.
And like, you know, Jason Whitlock, he's clearly a TV watcher, not a big reader. So like, Felix, when you were doing your own version of this for fucking Jacob Wall and fucking Berkman at CPAC, you were pulling the deep cuts like young Griff.
Yeah, they're young Griff and John Connington. But no, Jason Whitlock does not know about John Connington.
Oh no,
or any of
that's
those
book stuff.
storylines.
He has no idea.
No, he has. Yeah, he doesn't even know the TV stuff that well. He sucks.
Very bad. Very poor performance.
Yeah. He's never done the dance of clicking out of all three of the pop-up ads that you get when you go on Wikia.
Jason Whitlock, man, like he's great. I don't know, like whether he backed into being a conservative pundit or just ended up there because of all of his like many bitter life disappointments and petty spite that he bears inside of him. But dude, this guy was talking shit about Damar Hamlin the other day. Like, this is a guy who's just desperate for any kind of attention. He was just like, oh, I bet he's going to make a lot of money on his Oprah interview now that he's not playing football anymore. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. Jason Whitlock, ladies and gentlemen, the Game of Thrones.
I think that's the first time we've talked about him on the show.
Yeah,
I know we mentioned him like in the distant past, probably, but he's quite a specimen.
Yeah,
indeed.
I'd say he's more of the Illyrio of the free city of Lys, or no, what is it? The city's from?
He's from Pentos.
I'm blowing it. Pentos, yes. He's more like Meister Illyrio. He's
Magister Illyrio. Jesus Christ. Blowing it.
Well, I'll end it there before I disgrace myself any further.
Yeah, seriously.